Have you ever felt like you're always there for someone, but when you need them, they're nowhere to be found? It's a painful realization, but not everyone in your life values you the way you value them. Some people don't see you as a friend, a partner, or someone they genuinely care about. They see you as an opportunity. And the worst part is, they don't always make it obvious. They hide it behind smiles, kind words, and temporary attention. In today's video, we're going to uncover 5 powerful signs that reveal when someone is using you. Once you see these signs, you won't be able to unsee them, and more importantly, you'll learn how to protect your time, your energy, and your self-respect. 1. They only show up when they need something. One of the clearest and most common signs that someone is using you is their pattern of presence. Pay close attention to when they appear in your life. Do they check on you regularly, or do they only reach out when they need a favor, help, money, advice, or support? These people have a very predictable cycle. They disappear when things are fine and suddenly reappear when they need something from you. At first, it might feel normal because you assume they're just busy, but over time, the pattern becomes impossible to ignore. You start realizing that your connection is not based on mutual care, but on convenience. They are not investing in the relationship. They are withdrawing from it only when they need something. This creates an emotional imbalance where you feel valued only when you're useful. And that's the key difference. Real relationships are built on consistent presence, not selective convenience. If someone's presence depends entirely on their needs, then what you have is not a relationship, it's a transaction. 2. Your needs are always ignored. Another powerful sign that someone is using you is how they respond when the roles are reversed. You might be the person who listens to their problems, supports them through tough times, and shows up whenever they call. But what happens when you need the same in return? Suddenly, they're too busy, too distracted, or emotionally unavailable. They might change the subject, give you surface-level responses, or completely dismiss your feelings. Over time, this creates a one-sided dynamic where your role becomes that of a giver, while they remain the receiver. This is emotionally draining because relationships are supposed to be mutual. When your needs are constantly ignored, it sends a clear message that your feelings are not a priority. And while they may not say it directly, their actions reveal the truth. A healthy relationship involves effort from both sides. And if you find yourself always being the one who understands, adjusts, and gives, then you're not in a balanced relationship. You're being used as emotional support without receiving any in return. 3. They guilt trip you into saying yes. Manipulation is one of the strongest tools used by people who take advantage of others, and guilt tripping is one of the most common forms of it. Instead of respecting your boundaries, they make you feel bad for having them. They might say things like, "I thought you cared about me," or "You're the only one I can count on," or even act hurt and disappointed when you say no. This puts you in a difficult position where you feel emotionally pressured to agree, even when you don't want to. Over time, this creates a pattern where you start prioritizing their needs over your own. Not because you want to, but because you feel obligated. This is not kindness, it's control. Genuine people respect your boundaries and understand that you have your own limits, responsibilities, and emotions. But someone who uses guilt to get their way is not respecting you. They are manipulating you. If you often feel like saying no makes you a bad person, then it's not your conscience speaking, it's someone else's influence shaping your decisions. 4. They never reciprocate your efforts. Reciprocity is the foundation of any meaningful relationship. It doesn't mean everything has to be equal all the time, but there should be a general balance of giving and receiving. When someone is using you, that balance simply doesn't exist. You might go out of your way to help them, support their goals, celebrate their wins, and stand by them during difficult times. But when it's your turn, they are either absent or unwilling to put in the same effort. This creates a cycle where you keep giving, hoping that one day they will return the same energy, but that day never comes. Instead, they begin to expect your support as if it's something they're entitled to, rather than something they should appreciate and reciprocate. Over time, this leads to frustration, disappointment, and even resentment. You start questioning your worth and wondering why your efforts are not being valued. The truth is, people who genuinely care about you will naturally want to give back, not because they have to, but because they value the relationship. When that desire is missing, it's a clear sign that the connection is one-sided. 5. You feel drained after every interaction. Sometimes, the biggest sign is not what you see, but what you feel. Your emotions and energy can reveal truths that words often hide. When someone is using you, interactions with them tend to leave you feeling drained, exhausted, or even anxious. Instead of feeling uplifted or supported, you feel like your energy has been taken from you. You might start avoiding their calls or messages, but at the same time feel guilty for doing so. This internal conflict is a strong indicator that something is not right. Healthy relationships energize you. They bring a sense of comfort, trust, and emotional balance. But when someone consistently leaves you feeling depleted, it's because the dynamic is not equal. They are taking more than they are giving, and your mind and body are reacting to that imbalance. Learning to trust this feeling is crucial because your energy doesn't lie. It reflects the true nature of your interactions, even when you try to ignore the signs. Why people use others. Understanding why people behave this way can help you process the situation without blaming yourself. Some people use others because of insecurity. They rely on others to fill gaps in their own lives without learning to stand on their own. Others lack empathy and simply don't consider how their actions affect those around them. In some cases, it's a learned behavior. They've grown used to getting what they want without giving anything in return. And for many, it's simply about convenience. They choose the easiest path, even if it means taking advantage of someone else's kindness. But no matter the reason, it's important to remember this. Someone else's behavior is not your fault. However, recognizing it and deciding how to respond is your responsibility. What you should do about it once you recognize these signs. The next step is to take control of the situation. Start by setting clear boundaries and understanding that saying, "No is not wrong, it's necessary." Pay attention to actions rather than words, because people reveal their true intentions through what they consistently do. Stop overgiving and begin matching the level of effort you receive. This will quickly show you who values you and who only values what you provide. If the pattern continues, create distance. Not everyone deserves unlimited access to your time and energy. Most importantly, choose self-respect over approval. It might feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you're used to being the one who always gives. But protecting your peace is more important than keeping people who don't truly value you. At the end of the day, recognizing that someone is using you can be painful, but it's also empowering. It gives you the clarity you need to make better choices about who you allow into your life. Remember these 5 signs. They only show up when they need something. They ignore your needs. They guilt-trip you. They never reciprocate, and they leave you feeling drained. Once you start paying attention, the patterns become clear. And when they do, don't ignore them. Your time, your energy, and your emotional well-being are valuable, and not everyone deserves access to them. Choose people who choose you, respect those who respect you, and never settle for being someone's option when you deserve to be a priority.